child is displaying some signs that their child may need speech and language intervention. Thank you so much for the question. Okay, so I will start by saying that there is what we call the linguistic skills that a child needs to acquire before a child can start communicating verbally. So these are the things that must be in place before we can get to a child is 2 years, the child is 1 year, and you expect the child to say mama, dada. So at that stage, the first stage we were talking about the child, that there are other stages before that, but one of the things to consider is the child babbling. Okay, a child must babble. If a child is not babbling, it's an indication that there is a challenge. And for some of them that actually babble, when it's time for them to move to making echolalial sounds, and they are not making that, it's an indication that there is a problem. It could be that the child has a level of hearing loss, because the child can translate from babbling to echolalial stage. And also from there, okay, so like for example, at 1 year old, a child should have at least like 10 words. The child at least, like 10 words, that means like 10 words. Not directly saying them, but should be able to say, identify daddy, should be able to identify mommy, should be able to identify people in the house. So if a child, you're talking to the child is not calling, the child is not even maybe looking at you smiling when you're talking, or a child is not repeating what you're saying, whether you understand what you're saying or they don't understand it. If a child is not repeating what you're saying, it's an indication that the child has communication challenge. Okay, and then moving forward, a child is supposed to be using 2 words like mama or mommy water, mommy cup. Whether articulating correctly, if the child articulating correctly or not. If the child is not saying that, maybe a child of 3 years should be able to use phrases to communicate, but the child is just pointing. It's a challenge. And there are times that the child is not even pointing, the child is driving you when the child is supposed to, because pointing is a means or a way of communicating. So if the child is not pointing, the child is just driving you to what they want, just leading you there, then it's a problem. So these are some of the things, basic things that the early stage that we need to do, that the child is not pointing, the child is not transiting from babbling to a phonemic stage, the child is not imitating some of the things you're saying, the child is not smiling back when you're talking to the child, okay, or the child is not even looking at you eyeball to eyeball when you're talking, okay, or the child is using 1 word when they're supposed to use 2 words, or the child is not even following 1-step instruction, bring the cup, or the child is missing instructions, bring the cup, the child is bringing maybe spoon or something else. So it shows that the child is not getting instruction, which can be probably hearing loss or a form of developmental delay. But these are some of the signs we need to look at. We have somebody that just joined us, Dr. Francis, so I'm going to give him the microphone and he's going to introduce himself. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry for coming late. I have to attend the class before coming out to this place. I'm Dr. Akindele Samson Oladayo from the Department of Special Education, University of Ibadan. My area of specialization is learning disabilities, but my research interest is on reading difficulties, especially we call it, the medical term is dyslexia. And I also work on language disorders that has to do with the receptive and expressive disorder, which the means of it is called mixed disorder, language disorder, and inclusive education as well.
All right. Let's look for another question here. And I don't know who's going to answer this one for us. Anyone that wants to take it can let us know. How can we help autistic children develop social communication skills? How can we help them develop social communication skills?
Thank you very much. The social communication is one of the problems of children with autism. And it has to do with how to interact with others. You discover that one of their characteristics is that they want to isolate themselves. They don't want to interact with anybody. Why do they choose to do that? Is a result of what we have been discussing. That is communication. If a child cannot communicate very well with the parent, the only alternative is to isolate him or herself. Then how do you get rid of this? There are a lot of discretional and professional way of doing it. And that is why the issue of inclusiveness is very, very, very important. When you want to do such a thing, there is what we call a peer group. Hearing such a child with another child can allow them to play together with toys in another. Mama has mentioned very important ability in terms of training people with autism. Environment. The environment has to be worked on. The environment must not be static. If the environment is static, that's part of something that we learned yesterday. That we definitely can decide not to work with such an environment. So in such a scenario, you can place the toys of their choice with a child of their age group for them to interact. The environment will prevent two of them to forcefully want to interact with the toys. Recently, I developed a game that's really working. And I used the concept of this Ludo team. Ludo. I have a child who doesn't want to interact with anybody. Fortunately, I have another baby who can talk and relate very well. So I designed the Ludo with the dice. That dice I modified it. Instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the faces of the Ludo, I covered the Ludo and I put sellotape, the white, yellow sellotape, very good. So I covered it and I now write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that dice. So the other child, the experimental child and the control child. Yes, let me put so that So the two of them will sit on the mats in the well-decorated room. Initially, when we started, I have to educate them. We play together. We have my name, the two of them's name. When you take the line, Brown, I will be recording. I will give it to the next person. It will do such. That person, it will do so. By the time we started, it wasn't as easy as the way I'm saying it. But later, it has forcefully helped that child to interact. When I finish my own group, they can understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my child, experimental child can write. He will now write on our own color. This is N for me. You write whatever is called, you put the code there. When it is all come, we are rotating it. The first rule I must accept his own. So they will do it back and give it to the boy. So we did that. Later it becomes their choice. Anytime they want to refresh, let's go to system room and let's have our form. They will put it brown. The two of them started communicating. Later I drew myself from the scenario. The two of them now became compulsory friends. Each time you want to speak to me, you can speak through that boy. So when the parent came and find the system, what we are doing, never in the life of this boy, he has never interacted with anybody. I said, it's very patient. We'll start gradually and gradually. So anytime, just like Mommy has explained, anytime you discover something that is very good in them, you pick it up and think. That is why in psychology we do a lot of creativity. Yeah, so creativeness will enable you to, what is the problem of the child and how am I going to ameliorate it? So that was the genesis of my first research on them, and it works up to today. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm going to give this to How can parents distinguish between autism-related challenges and intellectual disability?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful question. It's beautiful also because often there's a comorbidity between autism and intellectual disability, but they are distinct. They are distinct. So basically, there are three major telltale signs of autism that we look out for. The first one is the challenges with communication. So like the speech, the first question I was asked, which she responded to. Children with autism also have challenges with social interaction, which is also related to the question he answered. Probably they have restrictive and repetitive behaviors and interests. So some of them, of course, sometimes these behaviors are suiting to them often. Sometimes, like we learned yesterday, so there are messages, is a communicating something. She talked about the four possible things they're trying to communicate to us via the behavior. But it becomes repetitive, so they may play with their toys in a similar way, maybe always arranging it in a straight line, always flipping. And it's always like that. It could also apply to diets. I read an article about a woman in the UK who was going on a one-man or one-woman protest because
her child used to eat was a potato-shaped, alphabet-shaped potato. So there was a company there that made potatoes shaped like alphabets, and that was the only thing the child eats. But the product was not selling much, and so the company decided that it's not good for business. So let's not do this product. And she was like, her child is going to, well, don't want to say. So that would be a sign of autism. Or intellectual disability. In intellectual disability, according to major definitions we work with, we are looking at the intelligence quotient and practical skills or adaptive skills
of the individual. So children that have intellectual disability are performing significantly below cognitive functioning in relation to their neurotypical peers. So, for example, I came pretty late this morning because I had an assessment and I did it virtually because they reside in Ekiti, and I was like, the Nigerian roads are better we try. And this is a 19-year-old boy who's, okay, from the assessment, his mental age is about 10 years, 8 months. So that's a significant lack. He may not have repetitive behavior. He may not have, if I was communicating, it's just that he lacks words but he also have challenges making his needs known. So it's not autism. However, another major thing we look out for in intellectual disabilities is that these persons also have deficits in practical skills or adaptive skills, sometimes self-care, depending on the severity. Sometimes eating, even feeding themselves, bathing for themselves, clothing themselves, using public transport, also depending on the age. They have challenges with all this. And so like I started with, you sometimes find autism and intellectual disability in an individual. However, I've also had the privilege to meet somebody with high functioning autism. And I could discuss fermentation with an adolescent with autism, and that was intriguing to me because as a science student, I know fermentation, concepts in chemistry are not things that we just fly around everywhere. But he still has the three major things he talks about when explaining about autism. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I will try to continue from where my other stopped. There are some children with autism that they have the presence of giftedness. there are some of them, as she has said earlier, autism is linked to 3 aspects. That is the behavioral aspect, the social aspect, and the communication aspect. We have some of them that they are not performing sub-average, they don't have sub-average intelligence like Heidi, intellectual disability we have, is that the IQ quotient is high. We have some of them like that. That's why one of the tiers, the types of autism, if you look at it, we call it epilepsy. Those children that they read beyond their chronological age, but they find it difficult to comprehend what they left. It's a part of autism. And can we now say that these children, they are ID, that their IQ level is low? This set of children that are part of children with autism that got epilepsy level, they have IQ to read above their own chronological age. That's to tell us that when you want to look at the differences, you can look at from the angle of IQ.
Yes, I want to admire the way you describe the differences. The issue of intellectual disability, sometimes it is feasible to get to a certain stage that they have a peculiar characteristics, and they can be, for example, can be Bongo shape, and you see them looking alike. If you bring 10 of them together, that's it. Yes, that's what we're discussing.
No, we're not specifically.
Okay.
That's it on the point.
All that behind. So I think we are still together with that's my explanation. For that of autism, if you want to observe them, you have to open your eyes very well to look at some of those things, because sometimes it's not confusing. They likely to exhibit certain characteristics that are similar. But as the Australian put it, the IQ is very important. The autism, child with autism, sometimes they have very IQ that you'll be surprised. And that is why you cannot put them away and say they cannot do anything. You have to continue to.
Thank you, sir. So, very good. I'm going to ask 2 more questions, and I'll give 2 people to answer one of each of the questions, and then we're going to go into question and answer time. So the first question is this, and any two of our experts here can answer the questions. The first one is, what is one thing you wish every parent with a child with autism knew? And then the other section is going to the teachers. What is one thing you wish every teacher knew about supporting autistic students? So we'll start with the first one. And whoever wants to take it can take the microphone from me. What is one thing you wish every parent of a child with autism that they know?
All right, so I would say that quite a lot of times, parents of children with autism, they focus on the weaknesses of their child. They focus on what the child is not doing, rather than focusing on what are the strengths of the children, the particular child. So what I would say to parents is that they should focus trying to identify, because I remember we also with that now, that, she does not like anything, nothing. If you look at the child very well, there is something the child likes. And that is the strength you want to use to achieve every other aspect that you're looking at. So when you start with the interest, and that is why you don't just leave them and say, I don't even know what this child is. I just abandon the child is just going up and down and running around. You have to get different things, and like a facilitator mentioned, that test of preferences. You want to look at what I think this child likes.
The change of attitude, the change of pattern of assessment, the change in all perspectives. And they should take an emblem that is, where is the emblem of this? Yes. Yes. The emblem says, sorry. The emblem says, Hope4AutismFamilies. That is the observer. Don't ever be hopeless about them. I have involved in training of a child who was discovered early stage in life and was diagnosed autism. To go away the child was able to finish primary school, secondary school, and it's about to return to university right now. It's called 420 patients. And the beautiful thing about the matter of the world is that every child will decide a challenge will not like those down. We practice it together at the end. We practice it together when we have the same target. Now, what I'm saying is that there is hope for them. We should not compare them with other children. And we should watch our attitude. There is what a concept in psychology. Attribution. Attribution means a situation where we attribute what happened to you as a cause by another person. I guess it's the father that caused it. It is the mother that caused it. Yes, let's not attribution. Good. If we don't change that orientation, there will be problem in the family. When I was starting a particular research of this, the issue of labeling, of course, in social education, is not something encouraged. The social education, we don't also put our yes, these boys are autism. No. Because of having a scenario where self-pronouncement was made and causes a lot of problems. We have, just like doctors, we have a way of pronouncing our condition, not because there's a political distress. Personally, we are in the era of AI. Once somebody says an autistic child, the next thing is to go to target. Oh, they will tell you the negative part of them. How can I tell you what I'm saying? Don't believe it. The Lord will help us.
So I hope they are catching all these things that they are telling us. Focus on their strengths, not on their weaknesses, and capitalize on those strengths. Use that to build what you want for them, the changes that you want. And our Dr. also mentioned about hope. Don't give up hope. That they can become whatever they have been designed to become. There is no, when you expose them, when you do practice all these things that they are asking you to do. Like if you take your child to therapy, they are teaching you all these things in therapy. Continue with it, do it, stick with it. There is no limit to what these children can become. It's not a death sentence, it's not a bad thing. It's just a different way of functioning and a different way of seeing the world. That's what autism is, a different way of assessing the world. Okay, the second question is, what is one thing in which every teacher knew about supporting autistic students? Okay, thank you. And can you just write an article to teachers? So they will get them to training. Now, teaching is not a job for everybody. So if you are not passionate about it, you might as well find another profession. It's not a interim transition but since I do only work of God, and then you come and produce the profession.
So if you don't have business being a teacher, you know yourself, your patience level, and all the key attributes that a teacher needs. And you are there for the salary. If you are doing a service to humanity unto God, and you should be a teacher. And the things that the children know when you are a teacher. Even if they can't talk. So that's my first advice. Please re-evaluate yourself and make you do what to do. Because teaching to me is very challenging. You are in your bed and you are thinking of how to handle this child. That's what a challenge. So you are working like, even your subconscious, your brain is it's not it's teaching practically. And then I think of a couple of other things I usually tell my students. The patience, for me, patience is even of greater priority than your certification. So you have a number of first-class graduates who do not have the feel or the patience to work with these children, especially if you are working with children on the spectrum. I usually tell my students also, you get to the clinic because they have a clinic, and you are looking for the children that are composed, you know that will not stress you. And so I'm like, okay, who's going to manage this? No, not you. I'm like, no, that is the best shot at training. If you give a child always manage it, and you can work and the child has those conditions, and you do that to train yourself, I can be pretty sure that whenever you find yourself later on, you won't be so scary. So challenge yourself, keep learning. I've never thought learning, keep learning, and everything is a beautiful condition. Because checking, not the right one, is very colorful, so you can't know it all. I wish I had dedicated myself, I'm coming there. But a lot of people understand they don't need to come here enough, they need to. The right number of programs are done, the ones I'm doing, and I'm still like, no, if me I want to come and learn, how much more you that you say you're my student? And they will come and learn too. So especially I'm so happy that they will do not for I will just finish my NYSC, and after it's also there, and they start again. Many of them even me that invited them. You see, I thank you, Mom. Some of them know beautiful, and I hope that's not just what they do. I hope they also do the thing of greater value, which I do, and I hope to replicate to others. And then ultimately, love. Love is well, I don't need to talk about love, you before you
I will just add this to the teachers. Very your records. Yes. You know, special education, we don't believe that a child is ineligible. Every child is eligible. This method may work for this, and this method may not work for that. Now, when you use one method and you seem as if that method is not working, use another one. Don't say I'm failure, because this method that we are using, you know, I know people have been saying something like that in church before I came. There's something we call learning style. Some children they learn through their tactile, some children they learn through their battery, some children they learn through their perspective, through auditory, through visual. What you just need to do is that try to vary your methods. That's why they call it differentiated methods. Don't stick to one method. When you use one method for a child and discover that that method is not working, and that try to use another one. When you use another one, and you can also combine different methods to use for a child. That's my advice for you. And like my dad said that you should extend your. I had one experience. When I was in college, I came from sport as a lecturer that division. That was a guy. That guy that day will be the second child that I saw that had this class of special needs. We call them one parents. So they are also like we are people with intellectual disability. It's also a category of people with special needs. One that in fact
$1. They are $1. But 10 people will not be able to hold there when they begin to manifest their capabilities. And that day, that God started manifesting. In fact, he wanted to start eating his guitar on other beers that were around. And the lecturers were also running away because he started picking a lot of things that want to kill. And what I remember one that I had explained to my service here, how, because I sat in special school, how that teacher helped this boy. And what I did was that I started dancing from afar towards this guy. And what happened? He said, "Uncle, what you answer to me? They will not be able to me. They will not be able to me. I need to kill them." I said, "You don't need to kill. What you just need to do is that you also just ensure that the person relates with them." And they said, "My character is irritated." And we started playing. I started playing with him that day, dancing, doing a lot of things. I said, he ordered something that day that he said, "If you continue to play with me and I begin to show you my characters, you also will run away." I said, "I will run away." Now what I want to avoid to try that the love. Please. That's why we always preach empathy in special education, not sympathy. We have the same shoe with them. That day, that boy enjoyed my stay with him. I wanted to go somewhere else, but I did not go that day. But I discovered that I was able to calm him down. That's my advice for the teachers. Thank you so much. All of that are great words. I hope you pick one or two things. So now we're going to throw the microphone over to the audience. Yes, come on. You said yesterday that you have 1,001. You try and take the people that you have. Thank you very much. My name is Anna Nadema Farida, a PhD student, University of Ibadan. Please, my question goes this way. I believe we are all here to have a secure prevention as well as cure to all these special needs conditions. But I'm trying to ask this question. Is there any prevention strategies that could be stated so that for all the parents as well to all the prospective couples, so that all these conditions can be reduced, even if it cannot be eliminated. Because I live in Nigeria, I grew up to know that there's only one person who undergo before getting married. That is the sickle cell malaria. So right now, what can we do so that some those new couples can also have a chance, if that is a test? I know most of it is said that it's genetic. So what can we also do? Either maybe tribal relative and go to another tribe to go and marry in order to avoid this genetic situation of anything. I don't know. At least I'm showing it to you as a prevention.
Exactly the question that can be done dramatically. Reduce the incidence of autism. To me, the smart question. That's a smart question. However, after that place in relation to the first one, I want to start with myself. At times I used to tell myself, I look at myself where I work. You may not have noticed. I do a couple of things that members with autism. Maybe I would have met diagnostic criteria if I had not been born into the environment I was. So for me, I'm not thinking of one test you can do. Yes, there's G mapping and all of that you can think of. But I'm thinking of give every child a chance and then provide an environment that is helpful. Provide a socially stimulating environment. So I find more about practicing in current terms. Causing or predisposing factors to autism. So you see the average couple today have devices and everybody is locked on their screens. And the 3-month-old baby already has an iPad. And nobody is interacting with this child. Nobody is the way our parents used in those days. We have changed all of that. These days we live alone. Mind your business houses. In those days we have more communal living, all those things were to me therapy that were good. In addition to that, I think about diet today. Our diet today is largely processed. I know research is still ongoing and a lot of that, but I still feel that maybe things that are from the ground, closer from the ground to our mouth, may also be helpful in overall health generally. But today I'm not aware of any genetic tests. That you can determine your genotype and know that I'm AS, they should not get married. Okay, so maybe you have the gene for autism. Aside from checking maybe the family history. But I'm not too comfortable with that approach. I'm not personally, I don't know, but I'd like to know the opinion.
So I think we're going to quickly wrap this one up. I think my understanding of the question is, I think when you answered, it helped me to understand the question a little bit. What you're asking is, like the way that we can do sickle cell and test the blood and identify that, oh, you are AA, these two people are not compatible, they shouldn't get married. So we are now asking, is there any test that we can do to identify if the parent is prone to autism so that they don't get married, so that they don't have.
My question is, when
My question is, you said we should check or we should get the area of interest of those children. I'll work with that. The thing is, I've noticed that my own son likes football. He's always about going outdoor activities. Now, I'm not the outdoor person. So each time, my question now is, you want us to, because I said I should stop using the force, the traditional method. Yeah, so I should stop using it. So now my question now is, if I want him to do anything, because practically is that what force for him? So he goes out, for me I don't play small and just come back inside. So now I'm asking that if I want him to do anything, do I have to take the ball out, we'll go first, come back before we do our roll call? What am I going to do?
I am working for football. So when you want him to do something, you make him work for him. He ends talking, and after he has ended his talking, then he begins to report to you. You go outside for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 15 minutes to stay with him now. It's not what you want. I know you don't. I got that 5 years old when I went into ABA. I'm old school too. There are some things that I don't want you guys to go with children, but that is what it takes. She started by saying, if you are not called, I know that now you are asking as a mother now. Yeah. So that's what it takes. You have to go from the point. If you're trying to change your child's behavior, you have to use what interests them, what is highly reinforcing for them. Football is highly reinforcing for that child. You just have to build that love or that interest. You don't have to learn all the technicalities of football, but you just have to do it with them and they can work for it. So you can say, when you clean your room, if that's what you have your activity, once you clean your room, you earn 1 token. You need 3 tokens. After you earn your 3rd token, then we go outside. We play football for like 15 minutes. Then we come back inside again and we do some more things. If it's free time for him to watch TV or whatever. So I don't think there's any way around it other than you falling in love with what they. That's what we teach in clinic. Like I said, remember I told you when the kid comes newly, the first 1 week, we're learning that child. We're following them around. We're looking at what they are touching. That's how we pick their interest. We also do, after we pick their interest, we do preference assessment, or we can ask their parents, what are the things that your child likes? Then we use those things. So if football is what they like, you use that football to catch them and to make them do what you want them to do.
So perhaps it will be one of the things. Unlike the other brother, you know was ready to say, or like one of was like, hallelujah, that. But me, just before one, you were saying just how we like take. When you start saying that, you start saying down, or like down. Now, you only just say down and water. Like you can say water like water. That's the only one you say. So I've been a bit concerned on that brother. He actually talked very fast. But now just 2 words. And sometimes I feel like the same fast that you want to instead of like say that. So it calls the word that. So everyone that.
Yes. Okay, yes, because if it was saying some things before, now in progress. So we want to know, is it, because anything could have happened between the time you acquired those words and now that you are in progress. It's possible probably like people or anything that happened to him that would likely affect maybe the hearing or any other thing that might have happened. So the assessment will tell us what exactly is the challenge. So let's say probably there is nothing, it's just like a form of introversion. So we now want to intentionally teach him. So what, like you said, you try to introduce mama and the face brother. So this, which means that he takes what you said. So you encourage him, you reinforce that habit that he actually says. So repetitively say that particular word over and over. Everybody saying, I mean, there is a target word you're using in your house. Everybody's saying it, and when he makes attempt, we reinforce it. So you want to see if he's saying it. I mean, if he's making attempt to say it.
Because they put it on the borders. They put the name on the borders. And you know, when you are having play with a child, you will be impressed with what you are doing. Unlike my own child, he usually do some things that I don't like. And I complain, he said, "Why here? She can't put here, but you don't see it." You know, when you are hearing some bread like that, or it will be something for you to be happy. So I want you to please, maybe there's a way you can enlighten our people on this thing that this thing is not even so those things, please, I really can do it. Because there are some questions I want to ask before. I've heard the answers. And then number 2, I want to ask, is there foods that we can be giving to these children? Because at times they are very agile and very strong than big others. they are stronger than us, and the way we are taking care of them, we are getting weak, but they are stronger than us. So on my own child now, the day before yesterday, I had an accident. So I was now thinking that if it's the one that this thing happened to, I will still be looking for another way of doing things. And I want to enlighten our people generally. Maybe there is a platform we can put on the internet that they should tell them that this thing is not a cause, that they should be friendly to everybody that has these challenges.
It's one of the questions I wanted to ask the panel. How you people in Nigeria cope with this situation? Because we are very traditional and we are very religious. So those are the two problems. Apart from supporting my wife's initiative, I'm a relationship expert. I'm a pastor for several years. So this is a factor that sets us back. This tradition and culture and religion, it sets us back many years. They believe that it is the women that causes this thing. It is said earlier that science is still not conclusive. They are still looking for what causes autism. It is neither from the woman that causes it or a man that causes it. It's the gene. So, and the gene can come from either of us. So, the thing to do is to understand these children. Be aware of the spectrum and the circumstances. Be compassionate and love these children. If you are not in this environment, I took, what's his name? I took him out on a walk. You need to see how everybody is looking at us. You know, really taking him around, walking with him, how they are looking at us, like what is wrong. So everybody runs away from what you don't understand. So until you understand, and you are able to deal with that. So there's nothing wrong with the women, there's nothing wrong with the men. If I am married, if we have a child that has a challenge, it is our challenge. It is not, if it's our problem, then I've married our problem. If it's my problem, then she has married my problem. This is our challenge, and we have to handle it together. Unless we handle it together, but not Nigerian society alone. Even in the United States, in different parts of the world, generally, when you have a child that have a challenge, the men always leave them to the women. It's a very sad thing. Many, up to 95% of marriages that have children with challenge in the United States, the men always abandon the marriage and abandon the child to the woman. So in effect, blaming it on the woman. So, but the general thing I could say quickly is what I've said. You both agree that we are in a battle together. And so, it's not like you coming with your child now. I expect to see his dad also. It's not you alone carrying him everywhere. Does he not have a father? Let the father also carry him. If my wife produces a child, if we produce a child that has a challenge, it's our challenge. Together, our blood has mixed to produce that. And we don't know where God is taking us. We don't know where the journey of life is taking us. So, that's what I would say, in a nutshell.
We need autism awareness and events. And that's why when we planned this our program, we added 1 day of autism awareness events. So that's the thing. We just have to educate the society. Like the one that you say your neighbor will say that That's why on our, this is what we're going to be This is what we're going to be passing out tomorrow. It talks about facts about autism, what it is and what it is not. It tells about it. So all we can do is to educate the parents about this thing.
Sorry, I just want to add something else. I remember that on our WhatsApp platform, I think it was the second meeting, because she usually teaches us every 6 months. I think it was second meeting. I remember when we were discussing how what type of react. So I remember she told us that you are your child's biggest fan. Even I am now. If you try to act funny to my child, I don't know, maybe because I don't have plenty children, I just want to. I'm like, I mean, I cannot imagine somebody talking down to my child behind me, not even let alone to my face. I think I'm going to lose all the pain. So you have to stand up for your child. Don't let anybody talk down on you or your child. But they don't understand. Educate them. And there's a way that you can butter that people's ignorance. Somebody comes to my child and says that my child is sitting all by himself, he's not playing with other children, he's feeding himself. I tell them to child, yes, because he's unique. And other children cannot relate. He's here and they are here. So they have to level up. I don't like that because of not come and meet me and say nonsense. I know it can be very frustrating. Yes. Many times, I mean, it took me a while before I could accept it. And a lot of us to parents, we live in denial. Like our society now, people want to fake it out. They are like, no, autism. Like, so people think it's a spiritual problem. Even while you are praying or whatever it is you are doing, even the Bible says, excuse my because faith without works is dead. Even if you are praying for the child, as you are going for the okay, you are also doing other things to help your child. It's not enough to just be praying and be broken. Let's just also act. And also stand up for the child. Don't let anybody try to. I remember she told us point back then. I can that meeting has never left me. And I want to also encourage every other people too. Please try to join the WhatsApp. She's doing a very lot. You need to join that WhatsApp. You will learn a lot. And also forgive yourself, don't feel bad. Because when I was living in denial, I asked myself, what did I do wrong? I look back when I was pregnant, I didn't fall down. I didn't eat properly. I didn't, and I was kind of stubborn. My mom said, I'm like, I'm pregnant, I'm not sick. So it really felt me mentally. I had to feel bad. Exactly. So you need to forgive yourself first. And also tell yourself that this child is okay. And also, you need to learn. You need to have read too many things that are not outside me. Just because I'm trying to raise my son. I read everything and anything. I ask questions. I'm always learning. Anybody I see them, and don't hide it. It's not a disease. Because you never can tell. If I do not join a WhatsApp, I'm always asking questions. They know me of that. I'm sure what is something there. But because I want to know.
Please, you guys to support each other. Form, supportive group. Autism support groups, autism families that have a friend who has autism, so that your society, the people that do not understand autism, they ostracize it, they call it names. So I will friend another family that has autism, so that we can become advocates for our children and stand up, and a kind of husband that talks down on you need to go to counseling. That man needs to be talked to understand that he is probably more responsible for that child than you. So if he gets that into his head, then you become a responsible father. So love these children and be compassionate. They are wonderful kids. My wife told me I'm going to go get we're going to do a raffle for t-shirts for tomorrow. Because we are all going to be wearing t-shirts tomorrow, but probably don't have enough. But we are going to make a drawing so that at least I'll bring 10, and so that some of you can win those. So that tomorrow is awareness. You want to be there, and let us create awareness to the society that we are normal people. Now that my wife is a specialist I'm an autistic person myself.
Drawing away from screen, and by the time he was going to start going to a school where he got help, he's practically not saying words that we can understand. But what I noticed was that the songs they sing, sometimes I will ask the special teacher, you say things about umbrella, he will just you understand, you are hearing, but he's not saying those words out. Then we've done a lot of speech therapies and I got tired and let's just do school. So what are you saying I should do? Because I brought him actually to UI. When he was evaluated, that was where the school said he should go for evaluation before they can accept him into the school. So now I'm asking now, what can we do to help his speech?
That's the truth. So you might have done a lot of speech therapy, but the truth is, you still need speech therapy. Like Dr. Sampson mentioned, maybe the right approach for the therapeutic intervention it needs has not been identified. So every child has a way to be trained. So I think I don't know, it's not currently on speech therapy, but I believe that speech therapy is going to get the right approach for the therapy. Now he hums songs, right? So that is one approach to make it communicate. Music therapy is an approach to help children. Okay, so another thing is, currently that is not making any verbal approach of communication, you can try other means of communication, like the picture exchange communication system then. You can make use of that while working on getting words out of him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So don't be tired. We still need to do the therapy. Now that he has started school and we can see some level of improvement. If he wasn't in school, maybe we wouldn't have gotten those ones. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So expose him to another level. So maybe you can see me after. We try to look at how we can go about it. It's going to definitely communicate. Whether verbally or non-verbally, we look at the one that is going to benefit. But don't be tired. Well done,
will admonish us to please put these things to practice. Like I said earlier, it's usually there's an initial energy after this kind of trainings, but let's push it for like 2 years before you say, oh, it's working or it's not working. Can we do that much? Can we do that much, please? Let's just 2 years. Don't give up after 2 weeks. Just push yourself to like 2 years. And then the second part is to celebrate the teachers and more especially the parents. If you don't mind, with her permission, I would love parents to stand up, or rather sit down and others stand up and give them a clapping ovation. Thank you. These are award-winning parents. It is challenging enough to parents in the digital now. It's much more effort taken to parent a child on the spectrum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll just add to what has been said. For some of us, if we don't have any support groups, I will advise that we join support group because we really need a lot of. Yes. She's going to give us a link where we can join so that we can get encouragement. It can be tiring, it can be frustrating. I mean, as a therapist, I know. A few hours with a child and compared to parents that are staying, 24/7. So I know how tiring it can be. So we need to join. So please, we encourage us to join. And whatever is being taught, let's try to do it. I know we have career mothers, career parents, and the likes. We have other things we are doing as well. But let's just put more effort. Little effort today, little effort tomorrow, adding them together, we are going to get results. It can look as though we are not getting any results, but it's a compound effect. At the end of it, you will see how much progress you've made. Consistency, persistency,
And I know that God will help us.
Just one word, hope. I became a special educator as far back as 40 years ago. 40 years ago. Our last boy in the family was also a special child. I decided to go to special education school to become an educator because of the child. But today, the child is almost 45 years. God has helped us to manage the child, and the child got married 5 years ago, with a very serious celebration, and today the child is 5 years old and is without any issue. That's important. There is hope. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't allow anybody to distract you. It's an assignment for you. Do the assignment to this your thing because of where we are going. God will help us.
Thank you to the parents and the teachers for attending this conference. What I will say is this: by the time you are putting all this knowledge into practice, the area of improvement you discover in your child, try to post it in the group so that others can also learn from that methods or the improvement you discover in your child, because we have instances whereby what you are just coming out from, it may be the challenges of some parents at that moment. And if peradventure they also put what you have done into practice, that may also be of help. I will advise that we do such.
Program, at least the 2 days of teaching and training. Tomorrow is Autism Awareness Day. Like the question our sister asked over there. I mean, it's going to take a while for this our community. This our culture is so entrenched. You know, it's going to take change of mind, change of attitude. But how can we get there? Education, one person at a time. No matter, I don't know how many people will be able to reach here. Maybe they will be able to reach somebody, and then maybe even going to the schools. Is there something that we do in the schools? How to educate even the teachers? Because we need some teachers.
They have association.
Teachers.